Today I'll show you how to upgrade your computer network at home to at least 2.5 giga. If you have a gigabit Ethernet connection, if you want to upgrade the network speed on your home network, you can simply change the switch of your home network or just the router to support 2.5 giga or even 10 giga Ethernet or 10 giga fiber. This is my old switch. This is my old Trendnet switch, and I had this for many years and it's been working really flawlessly, but it's only 1 gigabit maximum. It supports 100 mega per second, so it supports lower speed for older devices, old laptops or devices, but it also supports 1 gigabit. I got a new switch now for 2.5 gigabits or even 10 gigabit through SFP. I'll show you how easy it is to upgrade your home network from 1 gigabit per second to 2.5 giga or even 10 gigabits per second by simply replacing the switch and network card of computers on your home network. All the computers on the network that you want to have an upgraded speed, they need to have upgraded Ethernet cards or even fiber connection, SFP plus, like this one. This is a PCIe card. But in many cases, if you upgrade the Ethernet, you will also get better speed through Wi-Fi, because now with Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7, I'm still waiting for the router to arrive, but that one will be the Asus BE92U, which has a 10 gigabit WAN port and 2.5 gigabit LAN ports. I also got this switch from Trendnet, obviously, since that switch it lasted so long and it's still working. And for sure I got the same brand, Trendnet. And this one is a 6-port multi-gig switch, and it's 2.5 giga RJ45 Ethernet ports. It has 4 of them, these ports, and it also has 2 SFP ports for 10 giga SFP plus, and this goes in the computer later. Okay, in some situations, if you have really old devices, you might want to keep the old switch in case something is not working, but this one looks like it has 100 megabytes, 1000 megabytes, and also 2.5 giga and 10 giga, so it has basically all the possible combinations of Ethernet that you might have. You wouldn't have really devices with 10 mega Ethernet, but if you do, keep your old switches. And this is more information what they have. I did unboxing videos with all the things I show in these videos for the network, but now I show you how I actually change it. So to replace the Ethernet switch is really a simple matter of switch the device, but the power supply has to be replaced. So the existing switch has a power supply, which is different. It's a really old one. The new one has its own power brick, power supply. I plug in the new one, unplug the old one. And also I don't throw away the old switch. I will keep it in case I need it to put it in another part somewhere else, but it will only have 1 gigabit speed. This one has 2.5 giga, and also it has 10 giga through SFP. The SFP plus are these modules where you have this kind of little device like this. These are a matched pair and they have the same, I don't know, the label is peeling a bit. The serial number is almost the same. You can check with the serial number. I think this is the serial number, and these ones are for fiber connection. Fiber connection using the LC connectors like that. I have a 2-meter cable here, OM4 cable for these transceivers, but this is going to be needed in some cases, maybe not all the time. Okay, so I put them back. I just wanted to show you, they plug in here. I have a video where I show you the setup for SFP plus with the same router and also this Ethernet card. Before changing the switch, I want to install these rubber feet. This switch can be wall mounted, but I prefer to simply use the rubber feet on it. First step is to install the rubber feet. Okay, one goes there. Sometimes if you move the devices around, these feet will come off. So in case they come off, you have to find them and put them back. You can always put a bit of double-sided tape if they don't stick well, but usually these ones, they don't move much. There is even screw here. What is it? Yeah. So this one covers the screw, kind of. Okay. So you're left with this. You don't really need this. And now I'll press the rubber feet really well. And the thing is that's important is the switch has a bit of space gap under it for ventilation. And also, actually there's not much happening here, but this metal surface can release some heat. Do not cover the sides or the top. Don't put anything on it. Only if you put something that has a bit of a distance, if you could stack them, but better not, I guess. So the idea is to allow it to cool down as well as possible. And then you have the power supply. Usually this is nicer, but because I was storing it here, it doesn't look so fresh. Okay. So that's the power supply. It's ready to plug in. I have a PowerPoint which kind of doesn't, so it's not supposed to be like that, but it's broken. For me it works like this. Okay, so first, yeah, try not to make any knots in these cables and not bend them too much. Okay, so first you have to make sure that the switch actually powers on, that it's working. So I'll plug it in and you see some lights on it, and there is one power indicator here. So this switch is ready. You can start plugging things in as it is. I have one Ethernet cable here that comes from the other switch, from the old switch, and you can connect from one switch to the next one, but you have to know that if I connect the old switch, which is 1 giga, to this switch, only the devices connected to this switch will have 2.5 giga. Whatever goes to the older switch will have 1 giga maximum, because that's how it is. If you need to have multiple switches, they have to be the same speed, so you get the same speed if you want to, but you don't always need to have 2.5 giga on all devices, and especially you don't always need to have a fiber connection. The fiber is always good between the main computers that you use, or between a computer and a network attached storage. So now if I want to connect this switch to the internet, I plug this. Internet comes from this cable, and I can plug it in any of these ports, even the SPF. Even in the SFP ports, I could plug in this cable if I had a transceiver for Ethernet for 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit. So yeah, make sure that this clip is oriented properly. I'll plug it in the second one here. And you should see some light for number 2. When you see the yellow light blinking here, it means this cable, the internet, the network connection, it doesn't have to be internet, it can be even a local network without access to internet, but this is at maximum 1000 megabits per second, megabits per second. And if it was 2.5 thousand megabits per second, 2.5 gigabits per second, it will be green like that. So because I don't have any other devices for now in the home here, it will be yellow, this one, and this switch will replace the other switch. It will go in the same place. For now, I actually want to see if this switch can connect to the computer through the SFP port with the fiber, and I'll show you that in a future video. But basically, the switch now is connected to the internet, and if you want to actually use the switch as it's supposed to, then now you have to start plugging and unplugging devices. What the switch is doing is allowing you to have, instead of one cable, one connection, you can multiply it from 1 to 3 or even another 5. You can, in this case, I can change this one cable to give internet to all these devices, other 5 devices here. That's how it works. And the main entry point from the internet to your home should not be a switch like this. It should be a router, so you can control the access, who can connect and on what ports, in case there is something going on, so you can block any attempts. But the switch, this switch is very simple. It doesn't have any, it's not a managed switch, it's unmanaged. So it will do switching between these ports, and that's all. So To use it as a switch, you need to have more than one connection here, Ethernet or SFP. In a future video, I'll show you how this works with SFP. Thanks for watching.